Women are struggling to find men that they can date.
Black women cannot, shall not, should not expect a black man to be able to provide them with the same type of a lifestyle that a Caucasian can provide for the white female, because the Caucasian benefits from white privilege, the black man suffers from white racism. A black man has to work twice as hard to get half as much. So although I can appreciate the financial equity, but if you are a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer as an African woman in Australia or America or the UK or Toronto or Johannesburg looking for a black man who has financial equity with your type of career success, that's going to be difficult. You might got to tone it down a little bit. What I find as a therapist who works with couples, too often black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity. He's willing to help with those children. He will nurture you, look out for you, but he might not be able to put you in a Mercedes. And I've seen black women turn down good men because he didn't have the economics, but he had everything else. Sisters need to be careful not to fall into this European narrative of judging men primarily by how much they make.
Niggas want to turn in the wine in 3 minutes. It's not always going to work like that. But for the black man, you got to know. I seen Chris Rock. He made a joke real quick before I move on. And he said, you know how hard it is? He said, I live in Alpine, New Jersey. For people that don't know where Alpine, New Jersey is, probably the richest county in New Jersey. I'm not sure. It's definitely top 3. But it's all mansions out there, big-ass houses. He said, yo, man, I had to host the Grammys, do a bunch of movies to get this mansion I live in. He said, you know what my neighbor does? He's a dentist. He's white. He said he didn't invent teeth. He didn't make teeth up. I had to do all type of shit to get here. He just got a regular dentist. Now, dentists make that bread. But basically, the moral of the story is, the black man got to tap dance, show off, and entertain and do all that type of shit to live next to a dentist. You don't got a lot of time when you black and you're on the clock and you got a job.
Tell us the truth! All right, so what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, a.k.a. Doc BOA. Yep, I got time today. When you think about all of the things that we have to do in this society as black men to get ahead, stay ahead, all the obstacles that we have to overcome, all of the pitfalls we have to avoid, all of the negative energies and negative naysayers and haters that we have to deal with, we don't have time to take no shit from modern women. Women who follow Kendra G, women like Kendra G, women who agree with Kendra G are a waste of time for a man who's getting to his money. And that's why they're all single, because the man that they would want wouldn't dare deal with a woman like them. So we're going to watch some clips of Kendra G. I didn't want to clip too much of it, but this is her on Tamron Hall's show. And the woman literally made a fool out of herself. But we're going to point out something on this show. And I want y'all to watch and see just how lost modern women are based on who they follow. And there's going to be something very telling in these clips that you're going to see. So let's take a look at these clips, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Into high maintenance. Yeah, that's real high. If a man is here, why am I not here for my wigs? But
now I want you to look at Tamron's hand right there. See that big ring on Tamron's hand? Let's look at that big ring on her hand and remember that.
they're feeling like this for you. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now, I'm not saying we got some groans, we got some applause, we got some muscles, and I've never discussed dates that involve buying of wigs. Future-proofing. You have to have an addition that's going to go somewhere for sure. I want to see W-2 forms. I want to see success records. Is it in your name? Kendra, if I had gone on a date with someone and they started asking me about my W-2s and my bank account, they would have been seeing the gas come out of the pipes of my car. Well, because women are tired of wasting their time. So they're like, I don't want to make you be already made. I don't got clay. I'm not magic. But guys don't want that either. They don't want to make us. Well, true, but the thing with guys, and they don't want a broke lady. I don't think men want a broke lady, but they also don't want a lady that's going to be too expensive. You know, wigs are $2,000. I lost my job. I had a lot of things that were tumult in my life at that time. And I told Stephen one day, I said, I don't know if I was still working if I would have seen you. Right. I saw that man, and he saw me. Right. But what I like about the show is that you have three very different women, and it shows that there are many answers, but we're all trying to lead to a place of sincere and real love. Yes. And I think that's what's important. I think Sophia was a song in the 80s. So it hasn't changed, but guess what? People find love. You found love with your, Jake, how long you been together?
We met 4 years ago this week.
Now I want y'all to look at that. Tamron has a ring on her finger. This white chick has a ring on her finger. She met a man. She found love. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And we got married this past June.
You guys are I love it. Kendra, thousands and thousands of people call you. They want to be on the show. They want your advice, but you're single.
That's right, girl, and loving it. Now, you know, I was in a relationship last year, but this is my single season, and I love it. And single does not mean lonely. Single means nobody can't claim me.
Right.
And I got a roster. If you want to join the team, where the camera at, Cameron?
Now, I want y'all to think about what we just saw. We just saw the host of the show, big pretty ring on her finger. Somebody wifed her up. She's happy about it. She just stated she's glad she saw the man. She's glad that she lost her career. She wasn't working. She's glad that God cleared her space and cleared her life of all that masculine energy so she could be feminine and receptive when the man saw her and she saw him. Now she's got a husband, right? The white girl met a man. 4 years in, she's got a ring. She good, right? The only one on that stage who running their mouth, who doesn't have a ring, is the weave wearing. You look at Tamron's hair, little short pixie cut, little short kind of pixie cut. You look at the white girl's hair, look like she might have some weave in it, but it look like her hair. Now you look at all that weave Kendra got on. You look at how flamboyant is she trying. The woman say her wig costs $2,000. The woman say a man don't want a woman who's too expensive. Well, I bet Tamron ain't too expensive. Look like she does her own hair. Look at those nails. Very short nails. Look at the white girl. Look pretty plain Jane to me. What we're dealing with is modern women in America want to be like Kendra G. They want to have a roster that, man, let me tell you something. Kendra G ain't got no damn roster of men that she could have had when she was in her prime. She got a roster of suckers. I promise you that. The girl we saw, well, anytime you see a woman talking like she has a roster and she's Kendra G's age, she does not have a roster of eligible bachelors. She just doesn't. You understand me? Because let me tell you something about a woman who has a roster. When a woman has a roster, nobody in that roster wants to marry her, except the man she likes the least. They just don't. There ain't a man who's worth having that's finna be with a woman who has a roster of men and be competing with them to be her husband, to be competing with her to be competing with them to be the chosen one. It doesn't happen. That's what women do. Women compete with each other to get the eligible bachelor. Here's the problem. Kendra G is not living the life she professes to live. She don't have a roster of men that's paying $2,000 for her wig. She don't have a roster of men that's falling over each other trying to propose to her. She don't have a roster of men that other women desire. She don't have a roster of men who have better, younger, prettier options. She has a roster of men who she wouldn't dare let the world see. Any woman her age, any wall banger who says she has a roster of men, she has a roster of men that she wouldn't dare let the world see. I can guarantee you that, because at a certain point, you just don't have what it takes anymore to get the men that you would desire. All a man has to have to get the woman he desires is to keep himself in somewhat decent shape and get to the money. That's it. That's enough to make a woman link in if that's what you wanted to do. So I want you to think about the society you live in. And everybody giving the passport bros all this grief. But I know men who've gone over there and they didn't go over there to play. They went over there to stay. There's men in Africa. There's men all over Africa. There's men who've gone to Germany. There's men in Thailand. You know what I'm saying? There's men in other Asian countries. There's men who've gone to the Caribbean. What men understand is that if you are a traditional man and you want a traditional woman, there is nothing on God's green earth that's going to make a modern woman be traditional. She don't know how to. She can fake it and do some things and cook and clean and do all of that. But a traditional woman doesn't beat her chest and pat her back because she cook and clean. That's basic stuff. She got to do that every day of her life regardless. So I want y'all to understand, we live in a society where you as a black man, you build yourself up to be the best version of yourself, and you're going to hand the lifestyle over to some brow like Kendra G, some woman who ain't got no sense about herself, who has no idea what it means to be a woman, who has no idea what it means to be feminine, who has no idea what it means to be a helpmeet, who thinks the purpose of a man is to serve her and spend money on her for the shit that she want that ain't even worth the money. It ain't no wig on God green earth that's worth $2,000. There ain't no wig on earth that's worth $2,000, brother. But here's a woman saying you should pay for it if she's around you. These women really believe that you should fund their lifestyle. And you should if you're a sugar daddy. If you ain't a sugar daddy, man, you ain't got to give a broad a dime. Give her a dime for what? What is she doing in your life that earns that? Absolutely nothing but showing up and giving you the box that done been opened and sealed a whole bunch of time. Put the tape on, tear the tape off. Put the tape on, tear the tape off. Put something in it, ship it, get the box back, tear the tape off. Put something back in it, put the tape back on, tear the tape off. Is a box that's been used over and over and over and over to package all kind of goods and services. When I move my stuff, I want a new box, period. We don't go, I don't. Those of us, listen, those of us who have the means, we don't go to the grocery stores and the local stores and try to get used boxes. We go buy boxes from U-Haul or Ryder or wherever we go, Home Depot. We go and we buy boxes, brand new boxes to put our stuff in. And that's how you got to look at these modern women.